Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel, the live stream. Having a live stream today. It's Wednesday, 5 p.m., the 5th of May, and I just thought it would be a good time to do this. Wanted to do something a little bit different, and I'll get to that here in a second. Just wanted to wait for a few people to arrive. Those of you who are here with us in the live stream, thank you for showing up. Really cool to see some of you guys arrive early to the live stream. That's awesome. And so for those of you who are watching this right now with the live stream, please feel free to ask any questions you want. This is probably going to last about an hour, hour and a half max today. And I have to get to my UPS store by 7. I have 3 UPS packages that I have to ship, and it's just, you know, the way it is. I got caught up doing a lot of listings today, and knowing that I had this 5 o'clock live stream, it's just the way it is. So 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern is where we're going to try to wrap this thing up by, and we'll try to get to as many questions as we can. Again, ask your questions. I'll get to them after we get through a lot of the substance in the program. And if you want to support the channel with your super stickers, super chat, certainly you're welcome to do that. It does help the channel, and we do put it towards making things a lot more entertaining for you guys. And of course, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, because any time you do that, it helps the channel. It helps YouTube get the word out to other eBay resellers like yourself that may be interested in this type of content. For those of you out there who are just tuning in after the fact, maybe while you're working or listening and doing whatever you do, driving or whatever, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully this will be informative and entertaining at the same time. Please like, share, subscribe, and of course, make sure you're here at the next one, because your participation is certainly what helps makes this show. I have a special guest that I want to introduce. This guest, he does not have a YouTube channel. It is his goal that he will be at some point having a YouTube channel. He will be on this live stream more than likely, maybe not every time, but most live streams he will be on here with me. I think it's going to be a lot more informative. He is a reseller, and he reached out to me on my channel here, and he lives locally, and we sort of hit it off, and we've had many phone conversations. And I told him one day, I said, look, I said, this is great content. You know, we're having great eBay conversations on the phone, and this would be great to have, maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, come out here and just do it in front of the audience, because there's a lot of good information that you can really share with each other. And that's because what I experience might be different than what you experience. So his name is Archie, and he goes by Biscuit Butt. You may see him in the chat. You may have seen him in the chats before. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring him on and introduce him. Archie, how you doing?
What's up, everybody in YouTube land?
So
and eBay land. What do you call your fans?
The
Flippin' ain't easyites.
No, they're just good people that want to learn about this business. And if you're not trying to learn, if you think you have this whole thing figured out, you're in trouble, because the next day will come and you'll find something that'll happen, or you'll run into a customer that just blows your mind. And so I'm
John,
open to every experience. Huh?
You're absolutely right, because the reason I don't have a lot of hair is how many times have I called you just wanting to rip my hair out and just frustrated with this reselling business.
Yeah. And so why don't you do me a favor? Would you rather them know you as Archie or Biscuit Butt? Which one?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Call me BB, Archie, okay. Biscuit Butt, Biscuit.
Well,
whatever.
Tell me how you got started selling full-time on eBay, or tell the audience.
So I had actually, for a couple of years, just been watching random YouTube videos a lot of unboxings and things like that. And just, I actually had a career that, I made excellent money with. So it was really nothing I ever wanted to dabble in full time. If anything, I was just going to do it maybe just as a hobby. But I never did. Mm-hmm. And then last March hit, and I worked on the Strip. And of course, we know that in Las Vegas, the Strip got shut down. So I unfortunately got furloughed, and I had to find something because there was only so much cleaning around the house that I could do. And I was starting to annoy the people I live with. And, I watched a lot of YouTube, and a lot of the videos, your videos were populating. And I just decided, hey, you know what? I'm gonna try and get a pallet from one of the liquidation companies that we have here locally, and I did, and I was hooked. So,
okay. And it's worked out for you. You've been able to.
I did that.
Well, I was going to ask you. You've been able to sort of replace your income with eBay.
So, I actually made pretty good money in my career. But when I went back, it just wasn't the same. And I didn't see the Strip getting back anywhere close to normal for quite a long time. So I had to kind of sit down with my family and just ask, their input. They think that I could do this full time. Do they want me doing it full time? Making, but I'm sure everybody out there knows that. I mean, it's peaks and valleys, and I'll have some incredible months, and then I'll have some months where I'm question myself, on is this the right thing to do? But overall, I'm my own boss. I don't answer to anybody. I can do what I want, and I'm happy, and I definitely see this being sustainable and doing it long term.
Yeah, awesome. Well, want to reach out to a couple people here on the live stream. It's me says, "Go Chiefs, biscuit butt." So you already got a fan base.
Somebody I must know. I don't know who it is. It's me, but thanks. Yeah.
Well, they said
Go
it's little
Chiefs.
bro. Is that your?
At least you're not wearing your Raiders hat.
Let's just take a look at the live stream here and see what we got. We have Ed, the reselling writer. Glad to see you, Ed, making the show. Appreciate that. Flipping it good. Sup, first time here. We have Mommy Half Dozen Vlogs, Cabrera. How can I sell on eBay? Well, it's easy. You just got to get started. Got to sign up. It's been so long, such a long time ago. When I signed up was over 15, 20 years ago. Well, more like 15 years ago. And I don't know what's changed since then, but I'm sure it's very easy to do. Click on sell one like this, and maybe it'll take you through the process. My awesome wife
can I
is
interject?
in the chat. Hold on. Yes, you can interject. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to, somebody that's not as seasoned as you are, John, with reselling, just to kind of get back to when I started. I just started with things around the house and kind of got rid of some of those because, again, at the time, you didn't know how comfortable people were going out and buying stuff, and everything was closed up anyway. But the one thing that actually got me to getting into the reselling business, and not just eBay, but local, with Marketplace and OfferUp, was my girlfriend's mom wanted me to sell a brand new, still in a box, never opened Brother sewing machine. Who knew sewing machines were going to blow up? But I was like, okay, yeah, I'll sell it for you. How much do you want for it? And she said $60, and I'm like, okay. I did a little research that night. They were going for $150 because nobody was able to get sewing machines, I guess. So that actually helped kickstart me too, and I actually ended up getting $150 for it in about 12 hours. and handed her the money. She tried to hand me 90 of it back, and I was like, no. But what that taught me was there was a business in resale, probably buy over 40 sewing machines and flip them and make pretty decent money. But anyway, just to get back to the question is, just start with stuff around the house. And then from there, just find sourcing, because now you can go to Goodwills, you can go to garage sales and things like that. And it's fun.
Right. And I think I made a video on this a few weeks back. It's always a good idea when you're starting on eBay or any platform for that matter. Start with the stuff you have at home, because this may not be for you. I've met people who have all the time in the world and we're looking to make extra money, and I introduced them to reselling, and they got started, they were gung-ho, they bought the supplies, and then about 2 weeks in, they're like, this ain't for me. And it isn't for everyone. So, and that's because it's not easy. A lot of people think this is just, okay, I'll pull this stuff down in my closet or go to the yard sale, pull it in, and tomorrow I'm going to have money in my pocket. But you forget the steps that are in between, where you actually have to, test the item, evaluate it. If you're looking at clothing, does it have tears, rips, stains, right? Go through, take your photos. Maybe your camera isn't up to par, so your photos aren't great. Get in there, and your first time, you're going to be going through the eBay software, and it's going to look foreign to you. So it's not going to be as fast as you may see on some of these other YouTubers that, hey, I do it in 30 seconds. And so that in itself builds false expectations. You're like, wow, I'm not up to par. And then the next day arrives and you've maybe listed 1-2 items and you're like, you know what, I quit. But eBay is just like any other job that you've had in your life, that, when you are new at whatever job you might be at right now, or if you recall a job that you had before, your first few days in the job were like slow. You were slow. Everyone else looked fast to you. But as you start repeating things and getting to learn the processes, things get a lot easier. So my advice to anyone who's starting, give it more time than a week or two. Don't give up. Keep learning, keep listing, and you're going to get better over time. Real quick, Carolyn A. Hi, John, Jenna, and Archie from rural Victoria, Australia. Great to catch you on a Thursday morning, my time. Well, good morning in Australia. That's awesome. Let's see, all the things travel or learn every day. I've been doing this for a long time and still learn, especially from YouTube. Thanks. There's a lot of good YouTubers out there, and I will try to watch the YouTubers like myself when I'm doing my shipping, because I've done a lot of thinking today and about my own performance. And I think I get in my own way because for the longest time, I've been a multitasker, and I can do many things at once, right? But sometimes that will mess you up. Like, for instance, I'm listing today and I get an email that pops up and I have to deal with that because it's about a shipment that I've been waiting on. So I stop what I'm doing. I go and I answer the email, because these guys have limited hours, at these facilities. If you don't catch them at a certain time, good luck getting an answer the same day. So I stop what I'm doing, and then I was done with that. And then I realized, oh, there's a couple auctions that I've been looking for these pallets that I need to get on. And so I'm over here and I find a few that I've been watching, and I go and start bidding. And before you know it, 45 minutes is gone, and I'm still dealing with this item that I was in the middle of listing had I not got the email. So I tend to get in my way sometimes because I'm always doing more than one thing. And for me, it's just learning to putting stuff aside. So if you know things need to be done, put it aside, deal with the stuff that you were working on or you had planned on working on, and just manage your time better. Today was a good day. Listed quite a few things. Still plan on listing later tonight. It's funny, with listing, it's really crazy. I'm sure many of you guys feel the same way. Maybe some of you don't, but listing 1 or 2, it's just kind of a drag. But once you get into that zone, listing 3, 4, 5, or 6, now I'm looking forward to listing more. And my problem is, because my time management issues, I'll work from the time I wake up, sometimes like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And that's with YouTube, eBay, and everything in between. And I need to learn how to just do more in less time so I can have that free time for myself and my family, because it'll wear on you. You know, you don't get a lot of sleep and you don't get a lot of time for yourself. It does make a difference. So that's just one thing that I thought I'd share with you guys that really I struggle with, but I really going to work on doing better at that. Let's see, Michelle Castaneda. Does anyone else have slow sales? I swear eBay is on and off. Archie, how's your sales been this week?
So far this week, it's not been too bad. Not even close to where I'd like it. But I haven't listed a lot either. So
okay. That has a lot to do with it.
I know you and I talk about this a lot. I mean, there's so many factors. eBay's algorithm determines. Unfortunately, I got the C word about a month ago, and you know there was 2 weeks that I didn't do any listing, and I actually for 6 days straight. And the week that I had a fever, I sold over $2,000 worth of stuff. So it made it makes no sense. You're absolutely right. It seems like they have an on. Sometimes I was telling you the other day that sometimes I feel like they're just like, okay, well, today let's just keep his ego going by giving him some sales, and then we'll give him nothing next week. But honestly, it comes down to you just have to find the right things to list and consistently do it. And, I mean.
Well, here's my theory, and I think I told you this.
What do you?
I think eBay is sort of in a delay mode. Huh? Oh, sorry about that. I'll repeat what I was saying. I think eBay is sort of in a delay mode when it comes to your habits. So if you stop listing all of a sudden, the next day you're still probably going to get sales, and maybe the day after that. And let's just say 2 days go by and you haven't had any losses in sales, and you start listing again, and then you're like, well, I listed 10 to 20 items today, but I got no sales. It's just crazy how that works out. We had family that came over for this last weekend, and eBay was just weird with me. I only listed a few items a day, 1 or 2, because we were there with the family. And it was like Friday, I had like a $550 day. Saturday, I made no sales at all. And Sunday, I had I think I had a $650 day. And it's just weird how that works. It's just trying to figure out this eBay algorithm. I think everyone has their theories, and because maybe something happens one time, people say, yep, that's exactly how the algorithm works. But I tend to take it over time and maybe talk to other people, and then I form a conclusion. And I think that, if you aren't, I think eBay penalizes and rewards you for everything that you do or don't do. So if you don't pay attention to it, it's going to put you down the bottom or down the search. And if you do the things you're supposed to do, you're going to be brought up the search. But see, what a lot of people kind of don't get is that eBay can only control where you come up in search. It cannot control how many people buy your item. Of course, someone clicks on your item. The decision is the customer's decision. So that's where you come in as, is your title good? Is your information clear? Are your photos clear? And that will either seal the deal or they'll move on to the next item. They will find the item that they're looking for, and it may not be yours if you're not providing a clear listing. And so I think that it's this idea that eBay is going to just bring you more sales because I listed this many today, or you're going to lose sales because I didn't list this many today. It's like that whole saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And it's the same thing, I think, with eBay. And, your habits will play a big role in your search, but your quality of listings are going to determine if you seal that deal. It's like, you have a great car dealership, it's always on a commercial, and you go down to that car dealership to buy a car and nobody comes out to greet you, right? You start walking around the dealership, maybe see a couple cars you like, but no one's come out to greet you. And the one person that does is obnoxious. So you say, you know what, I'm done. Now, had they brought out the right salesman, they might have sealed the deal and sold you on a car that day. And I think it's a lot like that on eBay. And maybe that's not a good analogy, but I think that's sort of, in my mind, how eBay works. So as far as how do you buy liquidate? I mean, you buy liquidation just like I do. Do you source any other way? Have you sourced any other way in the past? Can you hear me, Archie? Okay. Well, he can't hear me apparently, so we will move on. I don't know if you're having audio problems.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. I can hear you just fine. Okay, well, I guess he cut out, and he may be back. Just talking to Archie, just to share a story. He bought some storage units, and he's made money off of storage units before. And I wanted him to sort of share his history on that. Hopefully he'll be back, and I think he's coming back as we speak. Are you back?
I am. Was that me or you this time?
Share us your experience dealing with storage units, and we want the PG version, right?
There definitely is some non-PG versions, but you know, I feel so with liquidation pallets, I feel like you get an MSRP, and I actually learned the 40/40 method from you, and I'm telling you guys, that is a perfect way to determine whether a pallet is worth buying or not. But the way I feel with pallets are, I mean, they're still good to get because you can get some good quality items, but you know you're only going to make so much on that. Whereas with storage units, I've had some big hits where I've maybe only spent like $200-300 on a unit, because you don't know what's in that unit. And right now they're doing everything online, so it's not like the TV show where you go and, you know, everybody's bantering and you only get like a couple minutes to look at it and then you start bidding. It actually goes up about a week before the auction ends, and you can actually, they'll take 10 photos and you can actually zoom in and just kind of look, but you can't see everything. Right. But I bought some units for $200-300 and then wound up making $4,000 or $5,000 off those units because they've had hidden treasures. So to me, I love doing the storage units. Like I say, just because, you know, I mean, it's hit or miss. You can also spend $200, $300, $400 on one and have jack crap, you know. And but yeah, I mean, liquidation's still good because you can see sometimes exactly what you're getting with the manifests and whatnot. So
I think he gets a bad rap.
I've also sourced. What's that?
No, go ahead. Go ahead and finish.
No, I was going to say, well, yeah, you know, I've also sourced with garage sales and right. You know, even, you know, anytime we go to Goodwill, you know, I always make sure that I try to find something that I can sell and.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Money that I spent.
We're having some audio issues on your end, I think, Archie. But let me just say this, that as far as liquidation is concerned, that's my primary way of sourcing. And I can tell you that it gets a bad rap. I was watching another YouTuber. He had a live stream today, and he mentioned something about how he sources. He, you know, spends $5 and makes 50. And then, you know, he'd rather do that than spend 1,000 to make 1,200. That's not how liquidation works. And if you're sourcing that way, you're going to lose anything you buy. I don't care if you go to a Walmart, do liquidation, either, you know, whatever you're doing. You could be doing yard sale, you can be doing anything, and you're going to find that if you're paying too much money for that item, don't plan on making a whole lot of money. It's just not possible. You know, it's funny. I have conversations with Biscuit Butt, who's having some audio problems. Here he is, and had conversations with you about the B stock. And ever since I put my B stock video out, I've had no success in getting the prices I'm looking for. And that's my own fault because, you know, you put out there your source, chances are thousands of people are going to see that and they're going to jump on it. So I've learned from that mistake, trying to be helpful. But, you know, with sourcing, I've watched on Bstock, people go on and spend 90% of MSRP for some of these lots. And I'm just wondering, do they not know that this is not brand new stuff? How can you go and spend 90% of MSRP in hopes you're going to make any kind of money when the buyer can just go to Costco.com and buy it for the lower price than what you have it for? It just doesn't make sense to me. And you know, I have conversations with you all the time about how I find that's just ridiculous. How can people do that? But they do it.
What do they know that we don't? You know, it's like, what do you know that we don't know? But we know they're not making money, and it's frustrating because it just prices us out of being able to get good quality pallets.
Right. So. And I just got through buying 20 boxes again, 20 boxes of Amazon liquidation stuff. And I'm a little happier this time around. Not going to share my source this time because whenever I do that, it just tends to bite me in the butt. But we have a few more in the chat here. The Aussie Hustler, hey, from Melbourne, Australia. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for being a part of the program. Let's see. Michelle wants to share that she lists 5 to 10 items 6 days a week, and she still has slow sales. You know, check your titles, check your photos. You know, eBay is no different than anything else. I think I look at my listings, you know, a lot of times I'll go back and to see why a listing isn't selling, and I'll go, wow, did I really have that title there, or did I really put that as my main photo, or how did this get there? And you'll be surprised that there's reasons why items may not sell. And title is a big one. You know, does contribute to where you show up in the algorithm. So also one thing that you all probably already know, that here in the next month, things are going to start to slow down even more because it's traditional. It has nothing to do with the COVID stuff. It has everything to do with just summer slowdowns. People tend to go out and about. The weather's great. Where, you know, half the country in the winter has horrible weather. In the summer, it's almost all the country and all the world has great weather. And so people are out and about and they're not focused on buying stuff. Let's see.
And you can't compare it to last year either.
No, you can't. I mean, last year was one of those things where everyone was.
It's an anomaly.
Told to stay inside. Right, stay inside, and I'm afraid to go out. It's the fear of the unknown. We didn't know hardly anything about this thing, and people were afraid to go down to their local store to get what they needed, so they turned to eBay. And a lot of us who were selling those need items were taking advantage of that. But even still, I had a slowdown in the summer, and that may be because a lot of people are out of work. But Maritime T says that he's been slow on all of his platforms. I'm assuming that's Amazon, Mercari. Mercari sort of slowed down for me, but of course, I don't have as many as I did. I had about 200 items on Mercari, and that is now wiped out, and I haven't really replenished Mercari. I need to get out there and do that, but or maybe get my VA, hire them to list some of the items that I have on eBay right now. Were you thinking about doing a little Mercari? You only do eBay, right?
I only do eBay and then local, just offer up and Facebook. But I mean, you had some good points. You know, just some of my slower moving items that that I've had for 2, 3, 4 months, less than $20. Probably move it over there because it sounds like you've had some great success with it. So
yeah,
I don't know why I haven't dabbled in it. I've just been more comfortable with eBay. Mm-hmm. It seems like, when I did my research back when I first started this, everybody only talked about eBay. Right. So, I haven't really, dipped my toes into it yet, but you're just like everything else. You're encouraging me. So
thanks. Well,
what do you always tell me? If you don't do it, Oh, go ahead.
Right. If you don't do it, I mean, you sit there and talk about it, it's not going to get done, right?
Yeah.
But the whole thing with Mercari, what I told him the other day is what I found works for me is if you have those $20, $30 items and they're not really moving on eBay, put them on Mercari and you'll be surprised. You'll have them both going at once and you'll be surprised. Those lower priced items move faster, in my opinion, on Mercari than they do on eBay. Yet you can't throw that $50 to $100 item on Mercari that you have on eBay and expect to get the same price that you're going to get on eBay. I find that people tend to shy away from the big ticket items and pay less on Mercari than they do on eBay. So I'll keep those. Uh-oh, we got a sale.
That was me, not you.
Oh, no, that's a sale. That's a $250 sale. Okay, so good stuff. Anyway, yeah, that's awesome. So, yeah, it's one of those things though. Mercari is like a yard sale kind of thing. So your smaller ticket items, get on Mercari. I'm telling you, you're gonna move a lot more than you will on eBay. Just in my opinion, just seems to be the way it works. Now, Maritime Tees, they ship about 100 orders a day, and so with that in mind, are you dealing with what, a drop off of what, now selling 75 a day? So yeah, that might give us an idea. Just also, what type of items are you selling? That also is a big one, because see, there's certain times of the year that clothing sell well. Clothing sells well historically in March and in September when kids go back to school, and maybe that'll happen this year, and that might be something to focus on. But generally, you just really have to do your research when you're selling stuff. Michelle says she lists 6 days a week. She's done everything and tried everything. Well, send me an email. I'll take a look if you want. I'll be glad to do that. Maybe I can come up with some ideas that could help. Let's take a look here. And our other stores also slow. We list 5 to 6 days a week. I mean, we have no life, I guess, but we enjoy doing this. We enjoy selling on eBay. We enjoy the next find. And I think, it's funny, you and I had a conversation the other day about death piles, and how sometimes it's that thrill of just buying stuff and finding that home run. I found a home run today and I was pleased, a $1,200 item in brand new condition. And so I was happy to get that thing up there, but it doesn't always happen that way. You'll buy and buy and buy and accumulate, and you still haven't hit that home run. And then you look back in your garage or your storage unit and wonder, how the heck did this happen? And so how do you handle your death pile situation, or do you even have one?
Well, I have like 8 death piles. But you said it exactly right. The toughest thing is you just want to move on to that home run. And I'm sure everybody out there knows the fun part of this is sourcing. It's going through and finding things that are worth money. And then all those things, and this is why it goes back to when we were talking about why I haven't jumped into Mercari yet.
Yeah, Archie, you're having some audio issues again.
He just doesn't want to deal with those $20 or less items, because I want to look at what's going to make me more money per hour. Mm-hmm. I know that you were telling me about some.
I don't know what you said. You sound like R2D2 right now. Yeah. Yesterday was the 4th. This is the 5th. Anybody knows that's a little joke for May 4th, Star Wars Day. Let's go on to a couple other remarks here, and hopefully his audio will improve a little bit. Doom Juice, what'll happen if you don't pay invoice fees? So what'll happen is you won't be able to sell on eBay, and if you're not able to sell on eBay, I mean, you can go and pay a Mercari where they take the fees out ahead of time. The good thing though is that eBay is starting to take out all those fees right now. And is he back? Okay. eBay is starting to take out those fees currently, and it's a lot easier. I mean, you're making less money, but the good thing is you're not dealing with that big lump sum at the end of the month that you have to pay. And hopefully that is going to help a lot of you guys out there too navigate, because that's just one less bill you guys need to deal with. I know it's easy sometimes, or any of us to deal with. I know it's easy that we have all this money coming in, and we spend it on bills and maybe reinvest it, and now here we get hit with this $500,000 eBay invoice at the end of the month, and it just kind of brings you down a little bit. And hopefully we don't have to deal with that anymore. So to answer your question, that won't happen here very soon. They're going to take the money right when you sell the item. And Michelle is tired of working for free. eBay does nothing for their sellers. And, hey, I agree. And one thing I want to tell everybody is that, look, I would love to make a video about how awesome eBay is and how great they treat their sellers. And if they ever change their stance, believe me, I'll be one of the first ones who's going to make a video praising them for the changes that they've made. And it just hasn't happened. We have this eBay seller check-in. I don't know if you all received the email, but on the 20th, that's 2 weeks from tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time, 4:30 Eastern, eBay is having that seller check-in for May. And I encourage you guys to get on there. And if there's one thing that bothers you, I encourage you to get on there and to ask your questions and let it be known your feedback. You're going to have I'm not sure exactly who it is. I forgot the actual department. I took it off my screen to do this live screen here. But it's imperative that you actually go and post your questions. I have a few issues that I've been dealing with. I was going to wait, and actually he is back. I'll go and put him on. Talk to Archie about my FedEx situation, in that you all know about my FedEx issue, and I finally got an answer from FedEx, and not FedEx, but eBay for Business. That's the only entity within eBay that seems to understand their job or know policy, just my opinion. And they told me that I am being hit with a surcharge, a handling fee on my packages. And she hit me with a link to their policy, and I sort of read through it, and then the light went off that this must be what they're doing to me. I'll show you. Most people sell packages, their items, and they put their items in boxes, maybe double box items. I don't do that. And I've sort of found a way to ship that is comfortable for me. It accomplishes two things. It ensures that, in my mind, that the package is going to arrive in good condition, so I don't have to worry about people hitting me up saying, hey, they have broken items when they receive it. And if someone doesn't know what that item is on your porch, they may be less likely to take it. If they see that $500 whatever sitting there with just a label slapped on the box, it's more enticing to maybe grab it. So what I'll do is I'll take, my box. This is a toner drum. I don't know if you can really see it. And I will put a bubble wrap over the actual box, and then I'll put it in a big poly bag. I have a bunch of different size poly bags. Hit it on the outside with eBay tape so it conforms to the box. And then for UPS, now what I'll do is I will wrap it with your basic shipping tape. And the reason is because their initial concern at FedEx, when I spoke to some of their representatives, was that they're concerned that the packaging might get caught up in the conveyor and get damaged, and they don't want packages like that, which is why I started taping it up this way. UPS doesn't have a problem with it, and they have not been charging me. And so based on the link that rep sent me, the only thing I can say is that's probably what's happening here. And this works for me. Now, it may not work for you, but I can tell you I could take something that has a box and do this, take something that doesn't have a box. Maybe I get something that's open box, or a used item that doesn't have the box, and really wrap it really well with bubble wrap and put it in a poly bag. And I have years of experience doing this now, little over 2 years of experience doing it this way, and I don't get complaints on my shipping. So I don't mind at all doing that for my customers. And it may seem like a little extra work, and some days it does seem that way, but my customers usually either send me messages or post positive feedback, and their positive feedback, now that they can write a novel, is shipped well, arrived in great condition, and that's all I can hope for. So I don't really care what FedEx thinks of my packaging. If they don't want my business, then then they don't have to have my business, I guess. So Archie, you're back. You're having some audio problems, it looks like, or it sounds like. Okay. Well, I think we'll have to figure that out for next time. Hopefully, once I can see him, I can see his feed. So if I can actually get a better feed from him, see if we have any improvements. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's not working as well
man.
as I thought. It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna get this worked out for next time. But I kind of figured that the first time we decided to have a discussion here like this, that we were going to run into some technical things, and it's no different than like I said earlier, anything you do for the first time, you're going to figure out that maybe you should do something a little differently. And I'm not going to let this discourage what we're trying to do. I think it's good to have the banter back and forth, and I really appreciate you taking the time to be on the show today. Let's see here.
I appreciate you.
Everyone check their phone on the ka-ching. Did I just get an Amber Alert, or was that an actual sale? I think it was a sale. But let's take a look and see if we have any. Kevin Jones has he's side 8. He's side 8 death pills. What's that mean? I have no idea. This is a not as described video.
I think he's quoting me. I think he's quoting me from saying.
Kent says this is an INAD.
I think he was talking about my 8 death piles.
Well, I'll give you a partial refund there, Kent. I'll give you part of what you paid for this video. But no, in all fairness, though, we are certainly going to correct a lot of the technical difficulties. But I think that it's awesome banter back and forth, a lot of the stuff we talk about. So the hope is, moving forward, it's just going to be a natural discussion. You guys are going to be part of it, and I think it's just pretty awesome. Jack Robertson just got here. Do you use Terapeak? I don't use Terapeak. And before I ask you, Archie, I don't use it because I think it might provide you more information, let's say over the last year, but it's not any better to me than just going in, doing a search for the item I'm looking for, hitting that sold filter down the left side, and finding what recently sold. I can tell you, I screwed up Terapeak on one item, and I'll tell you how. I was in a hurry. I was listing on InkFrog. I can't say that they're the reason why I messed up, but I was using a different lister, and the way they have it, it's a little different than eBay. I put it was like $144. I think I had it for $144.99 or something like that, or $144 or something like that. And I had one of these. So I put the 144 in the amount box, and I put the one as in quantity in the price. And wouldn't you know it, in like 15 minutes, I got one sale. It was like $130 something. I guess someone bought like 135 of these door locks. And I'm like, oh no, this is all screwed up. So I had to go in and cancel the listing that had like 9 left. And I had to tell the guy, look, this is a mistake. I just have one. And we ended up working it out. I gave him a good deal. I think it was like $90 for the door lock. And he was cool with it. And I go back and look on that item. Terapeak had that $100 and something door lock now was selling for like $2 because all the $1 sales on 130 some odd items totally screwed up Terapeak. And I thought that was a sort of an interesting one here. How do you find your defects? Well, like when we're dealing with an open box item, you open it, look at it, check for any breakages, plug it in, make sure it works. You want to set it up almost as if you're a first-time user of that item, just to make sure that it works the way you would expect. And then once you're done, that's it. Now, the buyer can still, maybe after using it for a few days, maybe something cuts out, maybe something isn't working quite the way it would work when it's first turned on. And there's not a whole lot you can do except take the return, take the hit. But I don't have time to really spend more than a few minutes on an item to check for defects on an item. Now, if you're talking about defects on an account, like your eBay account, you simply want to go under your seller hub, and you want to scroll down to, and I'm kind of on there right now. You'll see where it says seller level region, wherever your region is, and your current seller level and all those things. You want to click on that little arrow, and it'll tell you all the different things with little drop downs that you're doing right or wrong. So if you see a number that's too high, it'll highlight that for you. You want to click on the drop down, and it'll tell you where you're at. And a lot of times you can run a report and see where your defects are. Okay, let's see. Ned Reinerston, how you doing, Ned? Most sellers know that eBay is a total scam and have made it continuously more and more transparent since 2018. They are now a complete criminal cartel mob, nothing more. Some days I feel that way. I do. But, in reality, they continue to pay me. I still have daily payouts. I probably should change it to weekly, but they continue to pay me. And until that stops, then I'm going to side with you 100%. Some days I feel that way when you get nobody on the line that wants to help you, when you get answers that are more geared towards bad buyers, and you've proven that this particular person's a bad buyer and they're out to scam you, yet they turn a blind eye to that and they side with the buyer. On those days, I feel that way. But when I come back down, after being upset, I realize that eBay is trying to make money, and because they can't get more sales organically, they're going to hit us with more fees, and they're trying to appease their bottom line for their shareholders. I get it, but it shouldn't happen that way. I feel that if eBay promoted a healthier, more prosperous sales environment, I think we would get more people on the platform making sales. More people on the platform making sales will keep prices down. If you have more of one item being sold, it's going to be cheaper for the buyer, and that's going to improve the buying experience, and it's just going to make it's just going to work out. You're going to make more money, you're going to get more sales. But instead, eBay's chosen a route where they want to hit us sellers with fees, and they keep doing it. They try to give you a few more free listings whenever they bump up the final value fee. I'm sticking with them until we can find another platform that's going to give me the traffic that eBay gives me. I'm not going anywhere. And then Kent says, eBay is a selling platform, not a court system. Once you treat it that way, it helps immensely. And, it is. And you're going to find that you're going to be shot down a lot. I get shot down a lot from eBay quite often.
John, I agree with you. I agree with you. I mean, the day that I feel that eBay's taking advantage of me, I'll stop selling on eBay. I'll find other platforms. But my frustration just really comes with, I'm a buyer, or I've been a seller since 1999, or not a seller since 1999, but I've been on eBay since 1999. I have over 800 feedback. I don't know why when they go to make a decision, they take the buyer's side that has only been on since last year and has maybe 2 or 3 feedback over mine. I have it, and it's all positive. And that's where my frustration comes sometimes when they make a decision for the buyer, and they don't look at, there should be some type of tier system, I think. And
here's their line of thinking.
The longer you've been on eBay and the more feedback you've had, the more positive.
Well, here's their line of thinking. It's going to take them a lot more to do to you to get you to leave the platform than it is to take that customer who's maybe bought one item. They do one thing to that customer that customer doesn't like. Their fear is that customer is not coming back, and they just don't want to lose any more customers. And I think, and I haven't looked at the numbers, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that they've lost sales the last couple of years. That means a loss in actual people buying on the platform. They've actually made more money off of the back of the seller by feeing us to death. And they know that they can continue to do these things to us, and we're going to still stay here because they provide the traffic, they provide the sales. There's no other platform out there that can match eBay with that. Now, you could say Amazon, they have 10 times the traffic that eBay does. But heck, I had a situation where we had to cancel a sale a few weeks ago on Amazon, and that only happened one time. And they've already put my account at risk. It's already in risk mode. So eBay doesn't take that hard of a stance. So everyone thinks, and I think sometimes, that eBay is quite hard on the seller, but all you got to do is go and screw up once or twice at Amazon and see how that experience is. And you feel a little bit better about your eBay experience. I'll tell you that. Let's see. We have a question from Carolyn A. John, can you please explain the free eBay packaging that you get with your subscription? In Australia, there's nothing free. We have to pay for eBay branded packaging. It may be that the seller of that eBay branded packaging has an agreement with eBay here in the United States. But what happens is, depending on the level of store you have, I think you have to have more than just a basic. I think it's the starter won't give you anything. The basic will give you a $25 coupon every quarter, and then the next level up will give you a $50 coupon, and it may even go up beyond that. I don't have a store beyond the third tier. What is that? I don't even remember the name of it. But nonetheless, I'll get a $50 coupon for supplies that you can apply at that particular seller's store. And they have eBay tape, they have eBay branded boxes, and generally I go with just the eBay tape. Maybe some of the 4x6x8 boxes for the smaller items that I don't want to just bubble, I want to put in a box, that sort of thing. Have you, Archie, received any of the coupons? Have you done that yet?
I actually don't. I don't have a store subscription yet. I just I haven't
you back.
listed more than 250 items, so I'm kind of comfortable. I mean, obviously the goal is to list more than 250 items and to get the store, but yeah, as of right now, I just haven't.
Well, I think it's
but it might be worth it too, because now with fees going up, I think over 12% now. I think so too.
Yeah, I think you need a store. If you're listing anything more than 100 items a month, and even then you want to take advantage. I think the store subscription to start is like $6 or $7 a month, and to get those free insertions pays for that right then and there. Tom, how you doing, Tom? Tom Gatlin, new to eBay selling. If I charge the buyer for postage, do I pay a fee?
See, that's why I have the guru like you.
Well, you have to pay. So if you charge the buyer $10 on an item that you just sold, let's say, right? You have your item, let's say an auction plus $10 shipping. eBay is going to add that $10 to your total sale, and they're going to take that 13 point whatever % off of that total. And the reason is because people got wise to the fact that eBay was only charging the final value fee off of the purchase price and not the shipping. So people would sell that $100 item for 99 cents plus $99 shipping to avoid the fees. And it's, just takes a few bad apples or one or two bad apples to screw it up for the rest of us. And now we're getting hit for fees on that. We're also getting hit with fees on top of tax. So if your customer is now, they're buying the item, they're paying for shipping. If you don't have free shipping, then they're paying for the shipping. And then whatever state they're in, they're going to pay tax. We get hit on final value fees for that entire amount. That's all added together. So I think that's one of those moments you kind of feel like eBay is acting like just a cartel or whatever. But it's their rules, and we have a choice to play the game. And again, until another game shows up that's gonna work for me, I'm gonna abide by those rules. Let's see. Kent says here in the U.S. you have to store level account, you get a quarterly rebate. Yes, that's true. And yes, Kent also says go try Amazon, you will come running back. That's true, because buyers expect, especially if you sell like open box stuff or used merchandise, stuff with expiration dates, things that maybe are gated. And for those of you who don't know what gated is, it's certain brands that do not want third-party sellers selling their stuff. Once you find those problems with Amazon, you definitely, in many cases, will come back looking for another platform like eBay. You may not leave Amazon entirely, but you'll be thankful that there is a platform like eBay and there's not just Amazon out there. Because if we all had to sell on Amazon, more than half of you guys and myself probably, because I'm teetering on an at-risk account myself, we wouldn't be selling, at least on that platform, that's for sure. Kina has a question. Let's see what she has here. I'm questioning why I'm trying to get going on eBay because they sound like jerks and have done well on Poshmark. I was just thinking eBay is the place to be. I'm totally rethinking that. Okay, so if you compare it to Poshmark, Poshmark has that policy. Once they get it, I think they have like 3 days, sort of like Mercari. They approve the sale. This is what I wanted, and there's no returns, right? So you get the money, the fees are taken out, and everyone's happy. Unfortunately, eBay isn't like that because they don't have to be like that. They get the traffic. That's the difference. They have the people, they have the advertising, they have the traffic, they have the buyers. And so they can set more stringent rules to cater to these buyers. Whereas a site like Poshmark, if they adapted eBay's return policy, they lose half of the sellers. Now for you, or half of the buyers. Now for you, I would say it's a good idea to list also and cross list on eBay as well as Poshmark, because from my experience with clothing, you're going to get another set of eyes on your merchandise, and that's only going to help your sales. So I would definitely, and that's from my experience, our experience in selling clothing, is that you want as many eyeballs on your items as you can, because with clothing, and I'm assuming that you're selling clothing, with clothing, it is such a saturated market and everyone loves to sell clothing. It's, one of those things where people just love going to the thrift stores and buying the clothing. But in many cases, it's just such a saturated market that it's going to be hard to compete. And you just want all those customers watching your items. And if you're just limited to Poshmark, you're not going to get as many sales. So Kina doesn't understand the shipping at all. Well, a lot of times, Kina, we will put items with free shipping. So we'll actually price our items with shipping included. So if I have an item that I want to get $10 for, and I know it's under a pound, it's only going to cost like $4 or $5, I might sell it for 15. Offer free shipping, and I buy my label and I get my $10 or close to that after fees, and everyone's happy. My example I gave before was one where, to answer Tom's question earlier, was to give an example of if you are a seller that charges shipping, let's say it's not baked into your price, and you just say, I'm going to sell this for $5 and charge $10 shipping or whatever you do, we all have different ways of handling it. I would say if you're selling clothing, bake your shipping into your actual price, and you will find that you're going to it's going to make your life easier. But don't underestimate the amount that's going to cost you to ship that item, because it may be a problem. You might be paying more than the actual item and the shipping is combined. Kent says, Amazon is now allowing returns for up to 2 years after purchase. Ask me how I know. How do you know, Kent? Because that sounds like Costco's return policy. But I certainly would like to know that. That would be certainly interesting. Here's his answer. Because I had to return approved an item we sold 2 years ago, and what kind of item was it? Interesting. And then Kent says, flat rate shipping is the best, in my opinion. And if you're referring to like the flat rate boxes, that type of thing, I don't use flat rate boxes. I just don't. How do you like to ship your mid to smaller items? Archie, are you with us?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Sorry about all this.
It's all right.
It really depends. I mean, the great thing is when you go on eBay and you're actually ready to ship, you can actually go through the drop down screen and see what the most cost effective way to ship is. I mean, you'd have to give me an example of something, but I go from flat rate A, flat rate B. I've used flat rates, but I don't know. I mean, it really depends. I mean, I try to get everything that I can at first class because I do all free shipping right now. That's my business model. And I know that's one thing that you and I talk about a lot. We go back and forth. I'm probably going to try a different business model, shipping or even shipping costs. But no, I mean, it really depends. I mean, I've used all of them. I have every free box that I can get right now.
Okay. So, and we ship a little differently. I'm just in my comfort zone with the way I ship. And again, it's not broken for me. That method can work a little bit differently on Pirate Ship. It's another place you can go to save some money. But generally, I showed you the package earlier that I ship 90% of my packages look like that, just different sizes, and it just works for us pretty well here. Guillermo, how do you handle taxes? I have some good watches. I don't know what would work. Should I go for it on eBay? Well, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Guillermo, I would say go for it. As far as taxes are concerned, you do definitely have to report anything that. Now, the discrepancy is if you're selling stuff out of your home, if you're selling it like if you were selling it at a yard sale, technically you don't have to report. Now, let me just say this. I'm not a CPA. I didn't stay in a Holiday Inn last night. I don't pretend to be your tax advisor, but I'll just tell you for entertainment purposes, just to put the disclaimer out, that if you're selling stuff like you would at a yard sale out of your home, it's certainly one of those things where, most people don't go in and report that. Now, if I go buy this pallet of stuff or watches, let's say I buy a pallet of watches, and the intent is to resell them, not to wear them, I have to report that. Whether I make $100 on the lot or whether I make 200 items at $20,000 for the year. So just really depends. If the IRS wanted to, they can audit you and they can go in and find what you bought, and you're going to have to answer, well, these 100 watches, did you buy them for you or did you buy them to resell? And you're going to have to make a case that you didn't buy them to resell. But if you have stuff in your closet, go for it. People who buy and sell casually, or actually sell casually, stuff like that, stuff that they already own, it's not going to hurt you. It's not something you really want to worry about.
Come on, John, just wear one watch a day and then sell it the next day.
Well, but then again, if you have a pallet of stuff that you've bought, you're going to have a hard time explaining to the IRS And so to make it safe, what I do is every time I get a payout from eBay, I go in and I put it in my little Excel spreadsheet. It already has a formula set for me, and it tells me how much I need to put into my savings account. Every quarter, we're supposed to be putting money for our taxes and things like that. So that's kind of how I do it. Tom, he's in the UK. Some charity shops, thrift stores have now stated that online resellers cannot purchase items from them. How they can tell if you're a reseller or not, who knows? Well, a big tell that you're a reseller is that you're bringing your phone out when you are looking at the tag, you're scanning the UPC code, you're looking at comps on, and that's a big one. Your casual buyer at a thrift store is buying for their own personal needs. They're not breaking out the cell phone. And I think that's the big tell. If they see you doing that, they might ask you to leave. It's their business. I would just say do business at another thrift store, or in this case, charity shop, because either they want to sell it or they don't. And what does it matter if you're reselling it? You could be lighting it on fire. What does it matter to them what you're doing with that item? If they're not happy with their prices, why don't they just resell it themselves? So I really, that level of thinking, it just drives me crazy. It's the same as some eBay sellers get mad when they get a drop shipper, and the drop shipper sends you a message, don't include any kind of invoice in the package. I don't care. Maybe I gave them a good deal and they resold it. Great. All I know is I don't have to deal with it anymore. I moved my item. So it's just a bad way to think when you're doing business, I think. What do you think, Archie? If you can hear me.
I think to play devil's advocate on this, I think you got people on the other side that think that these charity shops or thrift stores are more for people with low income. And when a reseller goes in there to buy stuff up to resell it, they're just taken away from those people. I, on the other hand, all is fair game, in my opinion. If I want to go in there, you're right, and buy it, then so be it. And if I want to light it on fire or resell it, that's my business.
Can I play devil's advocate to your devil's advocate?
Yeah, but just know that I'm on your side.
Well, I know, but I'm going to play devil's advocate to that, in that, okay, you have an entire store full of different brands, okay? You're in there for, heck, I don't even know some of the brands, Gucci, Free People, add whatever brand you want into the chat. I'm looking for those brands. And if someone needs clothing, I'm saving the other brands for them. So I'm not taking the last shirts, or I'm not taking the last, you know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm buying the entire store out to resell. I'm buying certain brands of certain sizes and certain types of clothing. And so that's my argument to that.
No, the last time I was in a thrift store, I had a guy that wanted to fight me. He literally wanted me to go outside and fight him because I was looking at jeans. I mean, I'm a fat guy. I'm 40s. And yes, I was looking at 28s, but my girlfriend's son, that's why we were there, was to look for jeans for him. And he literally comes up and starts like shoulder to shoulder with me looking at jeans. And I just go, well, I guess I'm done. And he says, well, it's not your size anyway. I said, who are you, first off, to tell me where I can and can't look? And how do you know I'm not shopping for somebody? And he says, well, I just don't see a dad shopping for a son. And I was like, get away from me, dude. And then he was like, we could take this outside. I'm like, go outside. But obviously to me, he was probably a reseller. And, he just didn't want me getting all the silver tabs and Levi's before he did. So it's funny because normally I would be looking for things to resell.
Well, did you find the jeans? And my other question is, did you actually
in that
resell?
situation, I was not. So.
Okay.
But.
Well, okay, let's see. What do we have here? We're kind of winding down a little bit, but I'm just looking for some questions here in the chat. Question for return label.
And got out of there, but am I opposed to it? Am I opposed to it? Absolutely not.
To what? Reselling at a thrift store?
Buying a pair of jeans to resell that aren't my size. But like I say, yeah, I wasn't there to do that in that particular situation. But what's that?
Right. Well, let's have a question for Christina Octavos. I'm sorry, I mispronounced your name. Question for return labels. How come it's possible that eBay can generate first-class return labels for packages that were sent out with dimensional measurements? Well, what happens is the way eBay sends a return label is based on the measurements you provide when you're creating that listing, the weight and measurements. So one thing I noticed with the app is that if you're not careful, you can list an item that maybe is listed as 1 ounce, 1 by 1 by 1. And if that item sells and there's a return, if that item gets sent through the global shipping program, they're going to have a problem because they're calculating that return label or that global shipping label as 1 ounce, 1 by 1 by 1. So be careful. That might be what's happening, that you're getting a first-class return label on an item that you might have spent, $5, $10, $15 for with priority mail. And thankfully, you're not getting hit with a bill for that.
So you're right. When you do the app, it actually defaults to, I think, 7 by 4 by 4 for dimensions. So my suggestion would be well, that's probably the iPhone. Okay. On mine, it actually does do 7 by 4 by 4. And I still, if it's first class, I don't worry about changing the dimensions. I just always, so I do free shipping and I also do international shipping. And that's where with international shipping, I actually don't use eBay. I actually do use Pirate Ship because I can get it cheaper and get insurance. Mm-hmm. Whereas with eBay, you don't get the insurance and you pay exactly whatever it is, if that makes sense.
Yes.
I can still make a little bit extra that goes for my packaging and everything else with Pirate Ship. But anyway, so I'll go a little heavy on the ounces because again, I do free shipping. So I'm not too worried about what it says on their end, on the buyer's end. But what I do make sure is when I do go to ship, I absolutely 100% put in the accurate weight and the accurate dimensions in case I do get the return, because I also do free returns.
But what going back 4 by 4 on the return label?
No. When I actually go to print the label, I put the the accurate dimensions in. But when I'm
not
on
the label you're actually shipping, but the return label is based on what's in the listing, though.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. That's all they have.
That's why you're the guru. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's a good. So see, I learn every day from you.
Well, I don't know all the answers, but I could tell you that's what I've seen before, and it's like, oh no, you definitely don't want to sell an item that has the wrong measurements. It's very important you put the measurements in there properly.
And you could be right, but I do want to look into that because I want to make sure, because then obviously, I need to change the way I do that. But even with return labels, I've never had an issue, because I still go in and I audit it and just make sure that, hey, am I paying the right amount for that return label?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Let's see. We have a comment by Carolyn in regards to drop shipping. I don't know. Someone may have been talking about drop shipping earlier. She sells jewelry and things can happen due to wear and tear. Let's see. You lose visibility of the purchaser if something goes wrong. Who do they send it back to? Well, we don't really cover drop shipping a lot in this channel, but I can tell you from experience to answer that question. And for those of you who don't know what drop shipping is, it's sort of like an item is on sale at Walmart, and for $10, I can sell it for $20 here on eBay. So I'll buy that. I'll list it on eBay for $20, and then I'll buy it on Walmart. Once it sells, they pay me the $20. I'll buy it on Walmart for $10 and have Walmart ship it to them. But what happens is, to answer your question, Carolyn, if something goes wrong, you contact Walmart or the third party you bought it from, request a return, and you forward that return label to the buyer, and they send it back to where they originally got it from. So you're still like the third party in the middle, making that transaction happen. The reason why I don't like it is because eBay has been cracking down on it. They don't want drop shippers on their platform. They really don't want them on the platform unless you have a dedicated supplier. And it is, you only make like 5 to 10% off of the sale when it's all said and done. And it's just really, while you're not handling the item and sourcing and all that, it's just a pain. It's a lot of work.
I love selling to drop shippers, because once you send it to them and they ship it off, it's out of your hands for any returns. Although I have had one try to get a refund, and I just politely said, send it back and I'll give you a refund. And he didn't, so he left me a negative, and it happened to be at the same time that they allowed 500 characters.
Oh, so you got
I just responded back with a novel saying basically that he's a drop shipper and he had every opportunity to send it back, and he didn't.
Yeah.
But I do not do partial refunds, and I will not take their word for it. Even if they send a video or a picture, send it back. I want it back. I'll spend the money to get it back because it was first class anyway. So it wasn't,
right. So
but that's just how I keep the buyers honest too.
Well, and this is something I wanted to, this is a little different topic, but anyone notice that with eBay labels, 16 ounce is first class? If you go really anywhere else, it's 15 ounces. And maybe it's something that eBay has made an agreement with USPS to allow up to 1 pound, but that's just something that you guys got to keep in mind. If you're buying your labels on eBay, it's up to 1 pound is first class. And then Christina says, I never give my dimensions. Should I start? Definitely start. Go through. I know it's a pain. You already put your listings up, but go through each listing. Make sure you have dimensions in there, because what also is happening is you could be really messing up if you offer global shipping. eBay calculates what that customer's shipping rate is going to be based on those dimensions. And if you have 1 by 1 by 1 with 1 ounce, wow, they're going to underpay, and it could cause problems for that customer receiving the item. Let's take a look here. Kina, she said she got a big stock on eBay, sold a comforter and set, and it was going to have to pay $50 for shipping USPS, and she went through UPS and got it for $20. Yes, my finding is if it's over 3 pounds, almost every time, unless you're able to do it through like Pirate Ship or you're using Cubic, and that's a totally different video for another time, because I find that a lot of people don't do that right, which is why I stopped doing it. But if you are using or selling anything that's at least 3 pounds or more, FedEx and UPS, even though I don't do FedEx anymore, UPS will be the way to go, because they have better rates by far. They're more designed for larger items, larger packages. And think of USPS as designed more for smaller packages. And their pricing model sort of pushes you away after you get to a certain price point. They know you're not going to, unless you don't know any better, they know you're not going to spend $50 for that USPS label. You're going to go to another carrier. And I think they're fine with that. I think they're trying to bring in the smaller packages like that. Let's take a look here.
Lately, you're almost safer to go with UPS or FedEx.
I've not had any problems with FedEx or UPS. I have had a couple people in the last few months say they didn't get their item, and that presented a lot of problems. We all had problems back in December. For those of you who are selling back in December, most of us had problems with USPS delivering the items in a timely manner, and some of us had to give a refund before the item got there. And then when the item got there, the customer got to keep the item and the refund, and eBay did little to nothing to help us get that money back. It stunk, but it's good to know, like in this case, I use UPS, which is where I'm going in like 10 minutes when we're done with this live stream. But it's definitely a good option. If you consider how big that item is that you sold, it's probably a pretty good deal for 20 bucks. Tom Gatlin, why does eBay for the vast majority seem to always be on the side of the buyer? I had my first return request of money stating the item was damaged, although the Nike trainers were new and sealed. because their argument is they can't know whether it's them being dishonest or whether it's you being dishonest. And when you ask them, well, why can't you take my seniority, or if you want to call it seniority, or my profile into account that I've sold for all these years and I haven't frauded out any or defrauded out anyone, they just kind of shrug their shoulders. They really don't have an answer to it. But I think a lot of it is, if they upset that customer, they will not buy again. If they upset you, chances are you're going to continue to sell. And so the lesser of two evils is to side with the buyer so that they retain both of you, if that makes sense. And they write it off and tell you to write it off as the cost of doing business. And unfortunately, it shouldn't be that way. eBay video is questioning my line of thinking here. If you think global shipping is calculated by dimensions and listings, how do they calculate for listings with fixed shipping costs? Well, again, if I offer free shipping in my listing, I have to put, there's a reason why they want you to put a value in for the weight and for the dimensions, the length, width, and height. Otherwise, they would allow you to list your item without putting anything in those fields because it's free shipping. It doesn't matter to the customer. You are paying for the label, whether it's first class or it's $100 to ship the item. That's on you as a seller. The reason is because they need that information when it comes to generating that return label, and certainly they need that information when they're running that global shipping international label when it gets to Erlanger, Kentucky, and they have to process that that label. In fact, once you ship an item through USPS or FedEx or whatever, and it's a global shipping item, don't you notice that eBay within a day generates a label, and they have no way of measuring it. They have no way of weighing it. They go by the information you provide in the listing. Let's take a look, and we got Kent Daigle. Have you ever seen Walmart returns? It's all part of reselling. Yeah, they have a lot of returns. There's a lot of liquidators out there that have nothing but Walmart returns, and unless you like removing tape from packages, I would steer away from Walmart for the most part, because they love their tape at that return department, I'll tell you that. Take a look here. Jack Robinson, even if you don't sell anymore, they can get it from another seller. True, that's true. eBay video, you can use the I don't know details and without dimensions. I'm not aware of that option. I've actually, through InkFrog and through eBay, have tried to list, and it always puts me back to that spot where it gives me an error message that I have to provide that information. So I'm not familiar with that myself, but I do know they're not weighing that package when it gets to Erlanger, Kentucky, before running that international global shipping label. They already have a tracking number. As soon as you nail that thing out, you have one. And the reason why I know this is because I go in, well, I haven't been very good at it lately, but go in and I put my daily sales in a spreadsheet, and I look at those details, and I've noticed that on my global shipping packages, like the next day, it's already assigned a tracking number to that. And then Tom says, thanks, many thanks, helpful for me both. Just found your channel, subscribe. Thanks, Tom. Glad to have you. And you know, I do apologize for the technical difficulties. It kind of makes it hard.
I apologize.
Well, we'll figure it out. I mean, this is something that we'll work out together. We sort of had a little trial run yesterday, just the two of us, but it's one of those things where I told him that, you know, we're going to run into problems. We just need to get out there and do it, and things are going to get better. And I think because of the audio difficulties, it became a little bit more difficult to have that natural conversation we have all the time. I talk to Archie almost every day, and it seems like, you know, we're on the phone for a couple hours just back and forth, and I'm like, this is great material, and I'm confident it will be great material in future videos. and we'll get it working for you guys. And thank you. We have 47 people here watching right now. Thank each and every one of you guys and gals for sticking with us with the technical difficulties. Hopefully, we've given you some motivation to keep listening. If you're listening right now, keep doing it. I know it's kind of getting late. For some of you, it's early out in Australia, but for me, I love listening to these kind of videos when I work, the longer ones, because I don't have to worry about changing to this channel, changing this video. I can just listen to one stream while I'm working, and it kind of motivates me. I'm listening to other people do what I do and talking about their experiences, whether we're talking about shipping problems or different things that we encounter on a daily basis. I think it is helpful. And so I want to thank you guys. Archie, do you want to sign off and say anything or before we leave?
Yeah, I was just going to say thanks everybody for being kind and not bashing me. I'll get the technical part figured out, but the one thing that I think would be beneficial is, I always say you're the guru, I'm the newbie, and I think it's just great to have two different perspectives and just different lines of thought, and I think that would just be beneficial to a lot of people out there, because I'll tell you what, I learn a lot from you. I learn a lot from trial and error, and I'm sure I'll learn a lot from everybody that makes comments and asks questions. So this is a learning process for me still. So I appreciate everything you've done, and I'll always still keep looking up to you and learning more. So.
Well, we'll grow together. We'll grow together, and we'll grow with you guys as well. We're going to share. The goal is we're going to come out here maybe like once a week, once every 2 weeks, and just sort of talk to you about our experiences, what we did, how we did it, what happened. And we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. I don't know everything, and I'm learning every day. And all you guys can do is, every day while you're working, don't be distracted. Maybe put some music on or a long live stream like this one, and just focus on getting those listings done. If 10 is your goal today, why not set 12 tomorrow and just keep pushing yourself and getting those listings done. Focus on your titles, your photos, and all the things you can control, and really don't focus so much on the things that you can't control, which is where eBay places you in the algorithm. And so a lot of these things we discuss is just a pure example of how flipping ain't easy. And we're going to see you guys here very soon. I'll have a new video here in the next couple days, and we'll do this live stream, and we'll get it right, and we'll have it for you here next week. So with that said, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Archie. And we'll see you guys here in the next couple days.